Hello and welcome to the Century of Bobcast. I'm your host Bob, and this is our second episode. So I had three guests join me again today, same as the first episode, but this time I was joined by Josh, Seventh, and Dom. So Josh was the first person I spoke to, and he's our resident Bracken player. We spoke mainly about the war in the Riverlands, not the Reach. The Riverlands, what's going on in there, so if you want to catch up on that, that's your chance to know what's going on. I learned some stuff, so I'm sure you will as well. And then we moved on and spoke about the butterfly effect, how character actions have an effect on the game, and fun stuff like that. And then I spoke to SeventhDevil, another king player, actually, our Bruin player, and we talked about the claw, more spicy stuff going on there as usual. And and then he asked me some questions about the Reach, so if anyone wants to know what's going on in the Reach, that's definitely the place to know about it. And then Dom and I, Dom is our Tarly player, we spoke about what was going on in the Reach again, just as well as just fun conversation around 7K, our time together in 7K in the Riverlands. So if you want to hear about what happened then or get a little nostalgic, that's the time, that's the place to check it out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the episode. It was definitely a fun one to put together, and we'll probably have another one out in a week or two. I'll try to keep with the bi-weekly schedule, but for now, just enjoy this one, and if you have any questions, comments, or criticisms, just drop them in the Bobcast channel, and I'll be happy to answer, and have a wonderful day. Alright, I'm now being joined by none other than Josh, the Mr. Bracken, my favorite ally. Second favorite ally, actually, next to the Claw, who will one day be under the Reach. No.
Hey.
But yeah, how you doing, Josh?
Hey man, I'm doing good. It's a Friday. It's a good day.
It's a good Friday?
Yeah, it's a Friday. Weekend is here.
Got any big plans for the weekend, or you just gonna chill?
No plans, which is nice because I just had my boss in my job just left. Well, is leaving, so
Okay.
I now have to do the job that my boss was doing plus my job. So
okay,
it's been
so
a
you got
pretty
two
stressful
jobs.
week. Yeah, so I'm excited for a weekend of nothing.
Yeah, well, I
So,
mean, you've got a bit of a stressful time going on in game too at the same time.
yeah,
How's that
it's
going?
been well, I mean, right now we're kind of in a stall period, I would guess. I'd
Mm-hmm.
say, just with Yox taking over as Durandon, it's we kind of ended the Ironborn theater.
Yeah, a bit
Now,
of a transition period.
yeah, now we're kind of waiting to see what the Stormlands are going to do, kind of thing. So,
Well, I was actually, as you know, I was gone for a couple of days, so I'm trying to catch up really slowly. What happened with the Ironborn?
so it was politely, it was a mess, So we rocked up to Fair Market. Ziggy and I, rest in peace, Ziggy,
Rest in peace.
the unclaimed that broke my heart. But we rolled up to Fair Market to put Paige, under siege for bringing in the Targaryens. And then we found out through a Raven getting shot down that Paige had sworn fealty to the Stormlands, which is where a lot of this tension with the Stormlands at least kicked off.
Oh yeah, I'd seen that. Okay.
Yeah, and then from there, things went from bad to worse for the Trident because Blackwood showed up, and Bracken and Blackwood have had a long-standing history outside of in canon of hating each other and not trusting each other. And I made a call, and it was, I guess, the bad call because I assumed that Blackwood was there to betray us, and apparently he wasn't. But we took Blackwood prisoner, Blackwood and proceeded to attack us. So that was the first battle of Fair Market in that chaos.
The first of what?
The first Fair Market battle.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm saying yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The first of 3, then. Okay.
Yeah, the first of 3. And that one was pretty nuts, just because, Rami and the Targs killed for sure 2 page prisoners.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then Lord Blackwood died in mysterious circumstances. AKA Rami killed him, but we don't know that in character.
Yeah.
So we're still dealing with that ramification now of Blackwood says Bracken murdered Lord Blackwood. Bracken's like, we did it, but we don't really know what happened. And that was a pretty bloody fight. I think like 1,500 Blackwood guys died. Blackwood only has like 1 male character now that's not currently in Blackwood, in Bracken custody or dead.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's not great.
So that's the first battle of Fair Market in a nutshell. Pretty nuts. We kept getting more forces there. But at this point, we have no idea that the Ironborn are coming in character, right? Out of character, everyone kind of knows. But in character,
yeah, of course.
We had no idea. And so then we're trying to end this because we know the Stormlands are coming at some point. So we order an assault of Fair Market, one that we probably should have won. But just lost, based off like statistics. I think we had like +7.
How many troops did they have compared to you?
I think Paige at that point had like 1,500 inside the castle, maybe like 1,000 total with levies and stuff, and we had like it was we were double their military strength, even with the garrison. We had a master commander kind of thing. So.
Yeah. Well, when the game was being made, the idea was to make assaults. I mean, it's always a thing, right? To make assaults hard.
Yeah.
But the idea was to make them harder. So I was maybe just because I was on the org team, I remember seeing people being surprised by them losing, but I was not as surprised. I think. I kind of called it. Yeah. I was like,
I wasn't surprised at like, the odds.
Okay. Yeah.
Like. I think Fair Market is a town, so it's like defensive rating for the walls. I think it's like a 4.5.
Yeah, it's not super great.
It's not super great, and we kind of did the math, guessing what they had inside because Blackwood retreated back to Raventree Hall. They didn't retreat into the place, and so we once the numbers came out, it was just dice, right? We were like plus I think 6 or +7 on the dice, which is pretty decent chance.
Pretty decent, yeah.
Win. But we lost in like I think 6 rolls, maybe 5.
Ooh, okay.
Just lost hard.
So it wasn't even like that hard fought, right? It was just 6 rounds and it was over.
And we got, they took I think like 5 prisoners, including we lost both of our master commanders.
Oh, really? I hadn't seen that. Okay.
Oh.
And who were they?
Hoster Tolley is one of our master commanders. He got captured by Durandon, so that was the first battle actually.
Okay, yeah.
Because Durandon had like 100 or 200 men-at-arms inside Fair Market, but then they bailed after the first battle.
They just left. They just like fuck that.
Yeah, they're like, screw it. We got Hoster Tolley, so let's leave. So, in the second battle, Oris Strong, which is one of the commanders of the Company of the Trident, as a master commander, he got captured. And so this is like not going well.
Yeah.
And then literally like a half hour or an hour after the battle got posted, we got the notification, like the patrol ping that an Ironborn army of like this big has seen coming from like the east.
Yeah.
Which was not a good sign. So we tried to run. Like we were going to leave some guys in there because the mechanics weren't necessarily clear about breaking a siege kind of thing.
Okay.
So we left like a token force to keep the siege. And this is where it kind of, this is the whole like 3 battle fair market thing has been a kind of example of why the mechs as they are need a little work.
A little bit of reworking.
Yeah, the mod team I think has already got a new mech team together working on them.
Oh yeah,
because
they've been doing a good job about that.
Couldn't leave. Yeah, so they had to retcon our retreat, and it was like a whole day or two controversy of us trying to figure out what we could do because we technically got the first react, and we're like sending the mods messages trying to figure out like, well, can we attack Paige with like a little token force and then attack the Ironborn with the rest of our force so Paige can't sally out and join them?
Yeah.
But basically, we took too long to figure out what was going on and lost our 48-hour initiative.
Okay, because of that.
Yeah, which was not fun. And so then the Ironborn attacked us and Paige sallied out. And it was, I think the mods technically messed up the rolls and gave the Ironborn even better odds than they deserved.
Okay, yeah.
So it was like plus 11. The Ironborn had plus 11. And we won.
Oh, and you guys won.
Yeah, we got upset at attacking fair market, and then we won a big upset against the Ironborn.
Yeah.
Heron the Black died.
Yeah, that I saw as well.
Fortuitous for us. I'm really bummed because he's such a cool character, but
oh yeah, of course. Especially because he's like one of the big like canon characters. There's not a whole lot of canon characters in this setting that people can really explore, and he's like one of the. I'd argue like the biggest one, right?
Yeah, so. I think he's the biggest one. And we got like 10 Ironborn prisoners, like 3 PCs and like 7 SCs.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, it was like just a massive win. I think we lost like 5 or 6%, and they lost like 40%.
Shit. Okay.
It was one of those like big, hard losses.
Yeah.
And so then they left, the Ironborn. They left, and now we don't know for sure that they're back in the Iron Islands. Like, I got a couple letters that they're trying to figure out who's the king and doing ransom stuff. But they're out. We just don't know they're for sure out.
Yeah, you got in character. You guys are like not 100% sure, right?
Yeah, we're pretty sure they're out just because they're doing Kingsmoot stuff. Maybe.
Oh, okay. That'd be interesting.
We know Heron's dead.
Yeah.
But we don't know all of the controversy going on in the islands.
Was that spread through rumors, or was it just because of the battle that you guys found out?
Well, we know he died in the battle.
Okay.
I think you can tell who dies in battles.
Yeah.
The mods never said we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The new horror character had some pretty dope death lore.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
I always love good death lore.
Yeah, I still haven't had a chance to do that. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the day when I can write some good death lore. I really haven't had like the chance to do it in battle. At least I haven't lost a character in battle. Really, I've lost one, right at the beginning. But I've never really lost a character in battle. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, just so I can explore that part. But hopefully not too soon. But yeah,
it's fun losing a character in battle, but it also is like really kind of annoying.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right?
Depending on how connected you are with your character, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it can feel like you're cutting off their story short and stuff like that, but way it is, right?
Yeah, like, you gotta just go with the flow if you want to be a good writer.
Yeah, and you can't really plan stuff out, right? Like because there's so many other people playing, and next thing you know, they might kill off your character doing something else, so they might like do something really monumental that like changes everything in your claim, right? So it's kind of hard to plan ahead, which makes it harder.
That's like the biggest lesson I think I've learned playing these games, because I've been playing since Westeros Powers.
Oh,
so I'm one of the oldest continual players in the community. Like I think Celty and Sketchy, a couple others like Space.
Have been around for the same amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been around. I don't know which one of us is technically the longest, but we've seen pretty much all the different versions of the game, and for me, that's been the biggest lesson for me. Yeah, that's the biggest lesson I've learned is you just kind of roll with the punches and kind of do what you got to do. I've had some pretty annoying stuff happen to my characters over that long period of time, and you gotta just kind of learn that it's all just one big story.
Yeah,
and even if you don't like what happens, it's still a story that we're all telling together, and that's helped me out a lot.
And the thing that people, I think one of the things that's like you have to kind of realize quickly is that the characters are only the main characters to you, but not to everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Your characters are just side characters for everyone else, right? So it's like when they die or something like that, or someone does something to them, it means something to you, but you've got to go with it because of how it affects other people, right? Like you can't really, you can't just have like complete rule over everything that happens to just your characters and be like, no, that can't happen, right?
But, the only way you can do that is to just kind of turtle. Like, keep all your characters in your cast, but then you're just not.
It's not
participating.
Fun.
Yeah, you're not telling the story of like, it's this huge tapestry that we have in this game, and everyone's weaving. And I know yesterday or 2 days ago there was the poor Aaron Prince that got.
Yeah, Byron. I saw
Byron.
That.
And I know like the player was, he was really upset about that, but kind of what you're saying, that was his main character, but the spy master that killed him also, that was his main character.
Yeah, and like that's the thing, right? Yeah, like that's the thing, right? Is like I don't know how exactly to put it, but like I don't know, like when you lose a character, like I completely understand like the reaction.
No, it's painful. Like,
losing a character sucks. It definitely sucks. I mean,
especially when you pour so much time, like an effort into a character.
Yeah.
It kind of takes on. We try not to, but I found personally that my characters kind of take on qualities of myself.
Yeah, I mean, you reflect parts of yourself into each character.
And when one of them dies, it sometimes feels like a part of you just got.
Well, like for me, like I played Paige for 2 years, pretty much continuously, except for the time where I played Blackwood for about a month. But I played it for 2 years continuously. So anything that happened to them, I didn't take it personally, obviously. Like they died, and I wasn't like, oh, this person hates me. But it was more like if something happened, it definitely, if they felt sad, I felt sad, and like I was like, I wasn't used to that because I've never really RP'd before 7K. I never actually had ever. So for me, it was kind of odd because I wasn't a big writer either beforehand. So it's kind of odd for me, like like it feels weird caring about characters that really don't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. But to you, they're pretty important because you spend 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then 2 years writing them. It's not easy.
Yeah, and like I still have characters that I'll still like think about and like revisit. Trying to think about, hey, what's going on in their world, even though that game is no longer living, just because you pour enough time and effort into something, it becomes important to you.
Yeah, and one of the things I found honestly more frustrating, which had to do with 7K ending and me losing interest, was I often, when I'm playing at least, I often feel like disappointed in the fact that I never got to end a lot of their stories.
Yeah.
Which I almost find is worse than having them end in a way that you weren't expecting. I'd rather have them end than not end at all, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, like I had one character in 7K who I played from when he was 18 until he was around about 55, and he didn't die or anything. Like he's still around technically because 7K doesn't keep going. It's like paused. But I would have liked to have ended his story, especially compared to everyone else. But I can't really go back and do that. But I just look back fondly on the other stuff that's happened, and try not to think about it too much. But yeah,
I think we try to end. It's nice to end the story, but we want to end it on our own terms, I think, usually.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to end it in a way that you feel satisfies, their arc, their story, however you want to put it, the best. But I often, a lot of times what's unexpected can be better than what you could have imagined and stuff like that. Like a lot of the best stuff that happens, I find at least, is stuff that, you know, is completely out of your control. That happens, you know, based off of what other people have done, like, you know, getting your character poisoned or something like that. And then what comes from that, or, you know, people working against you, or a war that was started by other people, and then the opportunities that you're able to get from it, right? So
yeah,
that's the fun part.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all just people working together to tell a better story, because, you know, I'm not a big lore guy. I've never really been a guy that likes writing lore. I like to RP more than write lore.
Yeah, same.
But then writing with people that really like lore, you know, it makes your writing so much deeper, and it makes the story that you're telling so much deeper, and it makes the world deeper. One of my like favorite stories that happened, and granted, this is back from like Westeros Powers, so like
way
the
back.
game looks nothing like it does today.
Yeah, I've looked back. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, a lot more just powers stuff and not as much RP.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing, like the big storyline that happened was, you know, I was a naive noob player when I came in. I claimed like the Night's Watch. Built a good relationship with like the wildlings, but then like Stark unclaimed or whatever, and I like claimed Stark. They let me claim Stark as my Night's Watch character. Which was kind of weird and stupid. Like, again, it would never fly today, but it was a really cool story, because then I got to like use the relationship that my character had with the wildlings.
Yeah.
And it accumulated with the beautiful post of, it was a conflict surprise, wildlings and Sunspear, because we took 10,000 wildlings, put them on boats, and attacked Sunspear with a wildling army. But it was just all this stuff that happened just because people were telling, granted, unrealistic stories that would never fly today, probably.
Yeah.
But it was people that were just, you know, like,
it's funny.
Hey, let's tell a story.
Yeah, and it's interesting.
And yeah, I mean, if you ever say the words wildling and Sunspear, you know, I'll just smile, because it was just such a crazy, fun time that's like imprinted on my brain.
Yeah.
Because people were just telling a story and doing stupid crap, which is ultimately what we're all doing, right? We're telling a story and doing stupid crap.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, that's just what it is, right? Like you said before, I think the way that you put it with the tapestry, I think that's the best way you can kind of describe it, right? How everything kind of connects, and it's all part of the same thing. Yeah.
I mean, just looking at this game, you got like the Iron Islands and their world building and stuff that they've done.
Oh yeah, they've gone crazy. It's great.
Insane. It's awesome. But that's just, you know, that's a corner of the tapestry, and it's going in, and it's got, you know, all of the you know, the reach, your politics that you kind of got going on now with Hightower kind of bumping, bumping you, and it's got the Riverlands, you know, in conflict with the Trident. That's, you know, the Trident conflict with the Stormlands and the Ironborn, and that whole kind of relationship. And you got the Vale, you know, doing their thing, and then the North is getting tangled up in that same Ironborn tapestry, and you know, Dorne's sitting there prodding and poking the Stormlands, and it's all this interconnected weave. Because I think sometimes we can see our regions as, you know, it's what we do doesn't affect, you know, what happens at a feast in Sunspear doesn't affect what happens in the North, but it does. You know, it's all just this one story, and you pull on one string, and it has these unintended consequences.
Well, it's kind of like the butterfly effect, right? You can kind of go back and see which action. You can go literally to the like beginning of a game and be like, if this hadn't happened, then everything else that came after couldn't have happened, right? And I think that's one of the fun parts as well too, is looking back on stuff like that.
Yeah, like there's a couple like key moments from like the first week of the game that, you know, you don't really think about now.
But back in the future, you probably will.
Well, like the Roseby Durrandon crisis, like week 1 or week 2 of the game. I mean, that stuff is still resonating.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, Durrandon still like really hates Roseby because of something that happened at the very beginning of the game, and that's probably going to be a tension point until at least like Argalac the Arrogant is no longer on the board.
Yeah, which is he's still pretty young, right? So that's a ways
he's
to go.
still young. So like that one RP exchange affects the tapestry of the story for who knows how long. And it's just that's the stuff that it's hard to see when you're in it. Because I know, like, I was just stressed when it happened because I was like, "Oh no, we're gonna get invaded," and I'm trying to run for king here, you know.
Yeah, it's like it just started, right?
Yeah, it just started. I was campaigning, but then I could also use that. You know, like Bracken ended up raising support and like marching an army to Roseby. And, like that one incident is like one of the main reasons why Bracken is king now.
Oh yeah, no, definitely because of the having to push forward and get a king quickly because of them. Yeah,
we acted like the king, so then people were more willing to vote us king.
Yeah.
But again, in that moment, it was like, oh, this is just Roseby and Durrandon fighting, but no, it's got long-lasting implications on the entire game. And there's dozens of stuff like that every day. We just don't realize or recognize.
Yeah,
which makes the game really cool.
Well, I mean. Yeah, that's always how I'm looking back on stuff that like happened in 7K and all that. But you know, on that note, we've reached like 24 minutes, and I gotta go interview other people. But that was a really good conversation, Josh. I really like talking.
Hey man, I'm always happy to give a chat.
I'll be glad to have you back on at some point if you'd like.
Awesome.
But yeah,
cool. I appreciate you doing this. I think it's a cool part of our community, like to move forward to like have something like this on the outside kind of looking in. I think it's cool.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I needed a new hobby, so
I do some podcasting for my job. I get it. It's pretty entertaining sometimes to do it.
Yeah, no, it's fun talking to people and setting stuff up. But yeah, anyways, so I'll talk to you again, Josh. And
all right.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you, buddy.
All right, see you, Bob.
See ya. All right.
Hey,
I am now being joined by Seventh, our neighborhood Brune, Emperor Brune. How's the claw doing?
Emperor. Oh, that's such a big title. I wouldn't pretend like those Celtigars. No, we're doing pretty well. I really love all my claw guys. We're jamming out in our swamps.
Yeah, it's a nice little region you guys got going there.
Yeah. The petty kingdoms are so much fun.
Yeah, which a lot of people, it's great to see as someone who was on the org team. I'm glad that there was a lot of worries that the petty kingdoms were either going to get swallowed up by everyone or just never be claimed. And it seems like neither of those are happening, which makes me very happy so far. I mean, we're only like 4 months into the game, right? But
sure.
So far, I don't think most people want to take over the Claw or the Targaryens. So I'm glad that it's going well.
Yeah, well, the fear is definitely there, and that's a motivator for much of my activity.
Yeah.
King Clarence is always kind of agitating about like, hey, we're gonna get invaded if we don't start doing things with other kingdoms, guys, because most of the rest of the Claw is kind of isolationist.
Oh, okay.
And so Brune has been kind of trying to push people out of the Claw and trying to make relations for the first time, really, in its history and in other parts of the Claw, and that kind of started on this Vale plot later on down the line.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Because I know you guys have the Celtigars to worry about still, which is not something I would have ever expected, but that's just the fun part of these games. But
no, it's wild. So it's kind of a weirdly long story. So it all kind of began when I first claimed the Celtigars had been bothering the Claw for a while, and the Darklands, I believe, had, right before the previous claimant had unclaimed, kind of offered their one of the daughters, I think it's Anaya, I don't know names, to one of the princes.
Okay.
As a wife, and to kind of like solidify a bond, because the second prince of Brune had warded over there for most of his life. And so I sent a delegation down there to kind of see if hey, is that still open? We could maybe work that out. And turns out that she'd already been betrothed to some Valyrian.
Okay, so it's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. So like, apparently, the Targaryens think that like they might actually still be able to work with us.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that from Rami, but
do they know about what Celticar's been doing? I've heard that they sort of do, but not really. So
yeah, they know that Celticar claims to be king of the Claw, but have no idea that it's pissed us off so bad that we're building an army to come and get them for it. So it's really wild. And so that run-in with Darkland really pissed off the king, and so he and given all that's going on, he's like, oh, you're allying with our enemies after all these years of good relations. The only people that we've actually talked to outside of the Claw for so long. Awesome. And so the delegation comes back, we learn about that, and we start kind of wondering, okay, what the hell do? We have this letter from Celticar saying we're going to blockade you in because you aren't paying your taxes.
Yeah, I'd see that.
An entirely different business, totally wild.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have this impending blockade, and it's really putting the pressure on because I think we got some dairy awards right before that.
Yeah, okay.
And so we're thinking like, okay, we got to find someone else that's going to help us handle it because we really need to. This whole Celticar thing in canon, I believe, has been going on for about 2 centuries at this point.
Yeah, so it's been going on for a little while. So there's some bad blood.
Yeah, no kidding. So Clarence is thinking, okay, we have to finish this once and for all, and we don't have any ships. We have no ports whatsoever.
Yeah, so you guys need allies
we have
ships.
to find. And so we're sending folks all around. We get a letter from King Arlen saying, "Hey, those dragon lords certainly suck. Once I finish taking over the Riverlands, want to talk?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Go take over the Riverlands. We'll talk after that."
That's great.
And we'll see how that goes.
I'm saying that's great though, because they have the deal thing that they're trying to work out with the Targaryens, where they're like, "Well, we'll give you we'll work something out with the Dusklands if you work with us." So it's interesting that they're playing both sides a little bit.
Oh, do they? I haven't heard about that at all.
You haven't heard about that? Yeah, I'd seen
something
about that.
What's going on over there?
Well, it's that parlay that's going on at the Blackwater Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what's going on there is, from what I'd heard, is that they're trying to work something out, but it's I hadn't heard about them speaking to you guys about something as well. That makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. So we get that letter a while back, but it looks kind of far off. And we write Bracken saying like, "Hey, your Duskland guys are allied with the Valyrians. What's going on? You say you want peaceful relations with us, but you got guys allying with our enemies." And he's like, "Oh, we'll penalize anybody on either side of that war if they come from the Riverlands." I'm like, "Okay, well that's interesting." And so that kind of leaves us with the Vale to deal with. Like they're the only other nearby kingdom. So we send a diplomat and the Master Whispers up there, because the Master Whispers, I believe, had noticed a couple ships go by from the Isles up towards the Vale, and the Vale ports have been getting pirated for the last little bit.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and so we write them saying like, "Hey, those pirates that have been attacking your shores, probably dragon lords. Maybe we have a mutual enemy here. Maybe we can work something out." And so we send Aberforth, which is the second prince and crown diplomat, up to the Vale, and gave Queen Miranda a whole bunch of castoreum perfumes, which I don't know if you know what castoreum is.
No, definitely not.
It's one of the products that we've decided comes from the Claw. House Pine makes it.
You guys came up with it?
Well, it's real.
It's real,
but,
okay.
Yeah, it is the secretions from a beaver's secondary anal gland.
Oh wait, okay, yeah, okay, I have heard of this then.
Yeah, and it smells like musky vanilla, and it was used all throughout like Victorian times as like both a perfume and
the Canadian fur trade was big because of that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we give her a bunch of Castorian perfumes and like, hey, cool, we'll be on good terms. Let's talk about these Dragon Lords. And we eventually come to an agreement that we'll find some way to work together and boot the Dragon Lords. We've been kind of vague about what exactly that end situation is going to look like, because we just don't know how the war's going to go.
You'll cross that bridge when you get there, right?
Yeah. But the important point is, like, we have both the Reconquest and Humiliate rival Casus Belli. So
yeah, you guys got something going then.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Crab Isle is the war goal. That's kind of the ancestral seat of King Clement Claw, the first clawmen who unified the claw and banished those squishers all those years ago.
Okay, yeah. So you guys are trying to get it back because of that as well, then. Just to
so we have a claim there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very, very old. It's not like this. I don't think the Celtigars have any connection to the claw, like the King Clement Claw, but they definitely took over it at one point or another. And so we kind of have, beyond just the most recent agitations, there's also like you're squatting on rightfully claw land.
Yeah, like that's our ancestral land. Like,
yeah.
Not only are you trying to take us over, but get the fuck off.
Yeah, and like I guess there may be like, maybe that's the root of why they think they're kings of the claw. I'm not sure. Like we're not on speaking terms, so we have no idea. But we eventually came to an agreement to help use the Veil Navy to try and kick their ass.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the Veil's going to try and. Oh.
Yeah. Because,
sorry.
Oh, I was going to say sorry. But no, that should be more interesting in the fact that there's not really any naval powers other than the Dragon Lords in the east, right? Because in the west there's the Reach and the Iron Islands, and the west is building up. But then in the east, there's only really the Dragon Isles, which that was one of the things, was to give them a strong navy so that they could defend themselves as a petty kingdom. But because of that, they only really have the Veil who can rival them, even come close to rivaling them. So, that should be interesting to say the least.
Yeah. And that's like, Queen Miranda was very like clear. We're not gonna move on this unless winning is more or less assured.
Yeah.
So that's why we're trying to not only get the Veil involved, but the Veil's bringing in Manderley if they can get them. And
okay.
Yeah, and I'm currently on a mission. Well, I'm sending Aberforth South down to the Stormlands to try and secure that previous offer from King Arlen.
And we'll see how that goes with the one there that they have set up with the Targaryens, right? So
yeah, right. So it's all big and wild. And if the Targaryens have secured them already, then we're fucked, and I'm just sending a guy to go get captured. But first I got to get past these friggin' burned men that surprised me out of the blue. No idea what's happening.
I didn't even know there were any burned men in the game. I think that might have been claimed when I was gone, because I definitely didn't see that.
Yeah, the burned men jumped Aberforth on the road, and it's in stasis right now. I think it got locked because there were some mod mails that got missed, but it's getting calculated. And if I can get past that, then maybe I can get to a ship to go get captured by the Stormlanders.
Okay, well there you go. As long as you get there eventually, right?
Yeah. It's all bizarre, and really the rush, because we don't know about what they're doing down with the Targaryens. We're kind of feeling the rush to get down there because we think the Stormlanders are going to invade the Riverlands any day.
Yeah, that's the impression we've gotten as well in the Reach, because we're just kind of sitting waiting for them to cross the Blackwater and actually attack. But it's just we're still waiting, and it's been a little while now.
Yeah, it's our own little Rubicon. We're waiting until they stomp right on over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on in the Reach these days? That's kind of
A
the
lot.
end of what's. Yeah, tell me.
A lot. Oh my god. I mean, well, because at the moment the main focus is the war, but there's also like some stuff that we have to worry about once we return, which is the biggest one for my house at least, is Hightower, because Hightower they have been doing some stuff that's not exactly what you'd call good vassal etiquette. But you know, they stuff like spying for the West. We don't know about that though. Spying for the West, not paying their taxes completely, not sending troops to war, refusing a royal marriage, which I don't blame them for, but in character I do, because it was like a legitimized bastard. So you know, for me it was an insult in character, but out of character I'm like, I get why you guys didn't do it, but yeah, so that's my biggest worry in character right now is what the hell are we gonna do with Hightower when we get back, right? Because Hightower is kind of really powerful, compared to every other vassal in game, right? So I've kind of got that as a predicament to deal with, but yeah, we got a lot of council stuff going on because we had the Crown Prince disappear for a year, I think. Around about
I think
a year
I heard about that.
Yeah, he shipped off to Dorne and didn't tell everyone because he was like, nobody's gonna let me leave if I tell them. And now he's back, and so we're dealing with the fallout of that. And it's kind of that, the war, the stuff with Hightower, and a lot of the council stuff kind of mixed in together. It's sort of turning very interesting because not that I was worried, but there was a lot of wedding stuff going on at the beginning, which I love weddings, but you know, I played this game for the political stuff especially, so I was like, you know, when are we gonna get there? And now, you know, now that we're all comfortable into the game, because it's only really been 3.5-4 months, right, since this started, now that everyone's sort of comfortable, we can kind of get that stuff going, and I'm glad that it's happening.
You can only survive with wedding sim for so long.
Yeah, right, like there's only so many dances I can RP before I'm like, damn, when is someone gonna kill me, or when can I kill someone else, or when can I you know, send a plot? I've actually never done a plot, so
you gotta try it. It's a lot of fun.
I mean,
particularly when they fail.
I actually tried when I played Blackwood in 7K. I sent in a couple, but because of everything that was going on with the war, it just never really got processed. I sent in like 3 of them, one of which was potentially blowing up King's Landing with wildfire.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I was trying to build tunnels under King's Landing that would go out under the fields so we could lay wildfire for when the Stormlanders arrived, so we could blow them up. But that I'd unclaimed by that point, and the thing never went through. So I've had people plot against me, but I've never had a plot myself. But have you ever done any plots?
My only plot experience, and you'll remember this, is trying to coup Frey as Nayland, and we all know how that went.
Oh my god, that was I'm still so disappointed that that I wasn't there, because I was, and then I left because I thought you guys were like the bad guys, but you guys know we could have worked together.
We had bad PR.
if I had stayed with my like 1,500 troops, that would have gone way better.
Yeah, if only, man.
Better. Yeah, if only.
If only.
That was fun though.
Yeah, man, it's almost legendary at this point. Everyone keeps bringing it up. I hear it every time I walk down the street.
Yeah, well, that was actually one of my favorite like conflicts in this game, was that whole Frey thing. I mean, it was a little frustrating at a certain point when it had been like a year and nobody had found the Freys yet because they were just running around like crazy. But the whole thing was a lot of fun, and kind of set up stuff that happened later on in the Riverlands.
I loved it.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the Riverlands in 7K. I think I chose the region that fit me. I mean, I say that, but I didn't play any other region, right? So I kind of have a big bias, but yeah, I loved it.
Man, I will never not love the Riverlands, whether or not they invade me in this game or not. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll always have a soft spot for the Riverlands, I think, at this point.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. So that kind of does bring us around to what you were telling me was one of your last conversation of kind of seeing how things ripple out from just one character's actions. Like saying that like if your pages had stayed behind,
we would have won that.
We
100% would have won that. Yeah, because that was the only thing was that you guys were missing troops because you guys were 2 little baby houses.
And yeah, it's wild how tiny decisions like that, even from houses that like that you might feel that you're insignificant because you're not a high lord or a king, but man, everyone's little decisions they matter so much. And they ripple out in crazy ways.
Yeah, that's why like whenever I see people who say like, oh, like they're a little like off put by smaller claims when they like join the game, and people say, oh, here's a smaller claim, and they're like, but like, you know, I feel like I wouldn't have an impact and stuff like that. I've seen people say that, and I just based off of my time that I played. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I think I lost you for a second, but you're back now.
Well, it's all good, but basically what I was saying is, like if you spend enough time in a small claim, and you know you get like those connections going, you can definitely make an impact, like without a doubt. Like you do not have to be the biggest claim to do something. All you have to do is like be in the right place at the right time, right? And
timing and charisma are really everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just have to look at
make those connections.
Yeah, well, you just have to look at Paige, like in this game, right? Like, as the person who played Paige in the last game, I've loved seeing that this tiny little house, in Fair Market has managed to cause this massive war.
Yeah,
that has pulled in the Iron Islands, the Riverlands, the Stormlands. Maybe the Reach, depending on if the Stormlands actually jump in. But it's pretty crazy that I think that just goes to show that you don't have to be a big house, right? Just look at Paige now.
Yeah, absolutely. You hear that, small houses? We're talking to you.
Yeah, we're talking to you.
You matter.
We used to be one of you, but now we play. Now we play bigger houses. I mean, I say that, but you play Bruin. You're a vassal of Celtigar, so maybe you can go.
You can fuck right off, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to end the interview there. Then I can't believe you just cursed me out. Oh my god.
Oh no. Well,
we're actually coming up on 20 minutes. We're actually coming up on 20 minutes.
This will hurt reach relations forever.
I know, right? I'm gonna metagame us going to war at this point.
Sounds good. Well, I'll see you on the battlefield then.
Yeah. No, this was a great conversation, Seventh. It was nice having you.
Yeah, pleasure.
Yeah. So
anytime.
Yeah, anytime. I'll see you around, buddy.
Cool.
Alright, and now I am talking to SarcasticDom, or just Dom, my fellow 7K Riverlander, and ex-husband, ex-wife, in-game, but not in real life.
Thanks for having me. Hi.
No problem. So Dom, how are the Tarleys doing?
This sort of camped in Ashford right now, in charge of the sort of backup army to the Grassy Vale army. That's all the main thing, I guess.
I thought
Harley's there.
I honestly thought we were the main army.
No, we're not the main army. No, the Grassy Vale army. I've always assumed the Grassy Vale army is the main army. Well, because that's the one the High Marshal's in.
Yeah, well, I should know this, but it's because I was like leaving for a week and stuff like that. So now I'm like. That's why I'm like, now that I know, it's not so bad, but I definitely thought we were the main one.
No, we're like, I'm pretty sure we're small. I'm pretty sure there are more men in the Grassy Vale army.
See, that's why Myrn went to the Ashford army.
Yeah, Adam Tarley wasn't a big fan of that decision.
Oh, really?
He's just like he's prickly and he's quite a proud individual. Because you ever noticed, Adam Tarley, very proud individual.
Really? I would have never guessed.
Yeah, and he's just like having a prince there. He feels like doesn't directly, but kinda muddies the water of his authority in the RV.
Mern just wants to chill with his cousin.
Yeah,
they just wants to
Adam wants to chill with no one. No one
at all.
He has no friends. His only friend died before the game even started.
Oh, really?
Gedison Peak, who's like Arthur Peak's brother.
Okay, so
he died pre-game start. He was like Adam Tarley's only friend.
Well, his brother's his friend as well.
But, killed by bandits, I think is what Ingen went for.
Okay, the classic killed by bandits.
Killed by bandits. Yeah. So that's also how I killed Adam's dad pre-game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just it's the go-to.
That's funny because I killed what's his face? I forget.
Giles.
Giles, yeah, Giles was quote unquote killed by bandits.
I know
right?
your house better than you.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, right? Is I should have known that, but yeah, he was killed by bandits. So yeah, everyone just getting ganked by bandits in the Reach.
The Reach has a real bandit problem.
Yeah, a real bandit problem, and a real wedding problem.
Well,
the wedding infestation.
I wouldn't say the weddings are a problem. The weddings
they're great.
Definitely slow down.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
With the mind, not the war, but like we're not at war, but just like the mustering.
Mm-hmm.
We're in that pre-war phase.
Yeah.
Although some people clearly want to escalate things.
Hey, no, okay, whoa. You read that wrong. You read that wrong. He was saying, like if we go to war, we should attack them first. Not we should go attack them first.
Yeah. So it's just like building off what Titus Oakhart said.
Yeah, no,
he's like a bit more gun ho.
Yeah, no, Mern's pretty chilled out.
Yeah.
But he's definitely like if stuff happens, he's definitely like, well, we should go. We should go gank these guys. But
I'm outraged that Merrin was able to organize a peace with the Karens because the Harvest Hall's right there. It'd be so easy to siege. Just like move 1,000 guys to Harvest Hall, and you got a nice siege going.
I know. Karen's smart though. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, who would want to go up against the Reach?
I know. We might leisurely stroll over to your castle.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see where we go, right? But
yeah,
we're just waiting on the because there's still the talks going on between the Durandons
the bridge.
And the bridge, right? That's still going on. So gotta wait for that. But I haven't even been keeping track of that. How was that going? Because I knew there was the stuff with the Targaryens being there, or were they not there?
Yes, the Targaryens are there. They landed at the Riverlander camp, and then they're like involved in the talks.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they're there, but they're not like the main
there.
people.
No, I think I'm not sure exactly the specifics of it. I'm mostly aware of that situation from like a mechanical standpoint as a mod, like
as a mod, yeah.
There, and like I haven't really following the roleplay that much.
So you're forced to pay attention to it, though.
I'm forced to pay attention to like the mechanical aspect.
Yeah.
Like movements and stuff.
But not the rest.
Yeah, apparently there's roleplay in this game, but
really.
Yeah,
I thought this was just a straight powers game.
It was a numbers game where we just move numbers on a map.
Honestly, I mean, I think it should be like that now. Anyone should just be allowed to attack, small folk or.
Is that a sly reference
to what? No. There's nothing going on. Nothing going on. I'm not talking about anything, actually. But I mean, it's a good thing we have mechs though, so you can't do stuff like that. But yeah.
Percy's back, huh? It's been moving on. Percy's back.
Percy is back, yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, I'm now playing Percy again, so I finally got some replies out for that yesterday. And yeah, we have.
I know Carl on Redwine is currently chewing him out.
Yeah, he's getting chewed out. When you're a crown prince and you run away.
Deservedly so.
Deservedly so. Yeah. Well, that's what Carlin was like. Can't believe you did this to my daughter. And then Percy was like, yeah. He's like, sorry about that. It's just kind of like, I'll do anything I can to make it up to you. And then now I'm waiting on the reply.
Your daughter's ugly. Whoops, I guess.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, those rumors that were spread around? Yeah, crazy, right? But they're not true.
Were they
like,
you?
Just believe me. No, that wasn't me. I still have no clue who it was.
I have no idea. It's well within my abilities to I'm not gonna look back for endless mod rounds to see who did that.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I could ask, but I honestly find it more fun not knowing.
Yeah, I have no idea who did that.
Yeah.
I have ideas who it might have been.
Yeah, I have ideas as well.
Yeah. Percy's back, but Rylene has gone. She's north of the wall still.
I swear to God, if she dies,
it's
gonna be so.
It's
gonna be so crazy.
Honestly, if she dies but Manfred Seri lives, that could be super interesting.
Oh shit, that would be interesting. Yeah. I mean,
before this conversation, before we started recording, we were talking about butterfly effect.
Yeah.
So stuff like that could be.
Yeah, right. Like, if Percy hadn't left, and his betrothed might not have. She hasn't died. If in this hypothetical situation where she did die, or will die, it would be pretty crazy. But I mean, I would rather that didn't happen, because then after all the race to marry Percy that we had at the beginning of the game, and then
I was robbed from,
and then my decision to go with Redwin would have I would have just pissed off some people for nothing, right?
Did you just say Redwin?
Yeah, I say Redwin. I know.
Oh, okay.
We've talked about this before. I say some house names really weird. Well, or place names. Like, remember Crack Hall instead of Crake Hall?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I say Red.
How did you say Lofston?
Lofston,
yeah.
Yeah, good. I didn't say I said Amory instead of Amory. I remember that one.
I think I pronounced it Amory. I can't remember how I pronounced that. That's worrying. She was my main character for a long time.
For a long time, yeah.
For a long time, she was my main character.
Yeah, well, I mean, I used to say there was like a VC that we had in 7K where I said Amory, and you're like, that's not right. It's Amory, not Amory. I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep saying Amory. But I mean, it's kind of funny because we talked about 7K in when I was talking to Seventh. We talked about the stuff with Nayland when he was playing Nayland and the coup with the phrase.
Oh yeah, the Viper and the Viper and Nayland coup against the phrase.
Yeah, we were talking about that for a bit because I'd honestly forgotten about that until he brought it up. I was like, oh yeah,
the downfall of the Great Triumvirate that divided up the Riverlands.
That was interesting. That was an interesting period when we had the little Cold War thing going on. Even though, I mean, it not that it didn't go anywhere, but it didn't heat up, I guess is the way to.
It heated up to the point where, it did heat up to the point where Lord Frey got killed in his own keep, and then the soldiers dismembered Lord Nayland across the Riverlands. That was quite heated, I'd say.
Yeah, I know, but I meant more like the because that was kind of like Frey versus everyone else.
Yeah.
I meant more like like the stuff, like the bigger stuff. Like I definitely thought Blackwood and you would have not been friends after a certain amount of time, but I mean that never happened.
I think at the end, sort of shortly before I unclaimed, I think it was maybe the first time I unclaimed. I can't remember.
When the game
got better.
There was
talk. Fuck you. There was talks about, because it was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but Brenton Tully had upset the Crown somehow, and he had upset Blackwood and Lofston.
Oh yeah.
And there was genuine talks of, hey, if we got rid of Tully as LP, what would we do? Mm-hmm. And Benefit Blackwood was like, make me LP, make the Blackwoods Lord Paramount. But Amory was like, how about we put it to a Riverlander vote? Because she reckoned she had a better chance of winning a vote of the Riverlanders than she had of convincing the Crown to make her LP. Mm-hmm. She wants to be, and I know if that had gone anywhere, that would have definitely been the downfall of that alliance, because that alliance only functioned at when we had a common goal, which was undermine Tully and support the Crown. But if one of us became LP, that would shift the power dynamics. Yeah,
well, I mean, if we want to talk about what ifs, do you remember when me and Wiccan cooed Tully at the crossing, and then that got retconned? Do you remember that?
What?
What's this? It was when Joe went to I don't remember exactly. It was when there was the whole thing with the Tullys wanting to give away the crossing in the tournament. Do you remember that? And everyone went to the crossing for a meeting, and the Joe and hold up, who was it? Give me a second. Well, it was me and Wiccan. We arrested him, and then
Tully.
Yeah, we arrested Brendan Tully, and we were like, this is crazy. He can't be doing this. And then it was going somewhere, and it was what's gonna happen next, right? Are people gonna be pissed off that we've arrested him? And then I think before everyone found out, it got retconned. But it was interesting while it lasted. I mean, I understand why it was retcon, but it was very interesting while it lasted.
It's some really wild stuff happening in the Riverlands in 7K.
Yeah, we were pretty crazy. There's always a lot going on.
Do you remember? Were you claimed for when I killed Medgar Tully?
Yes, that was when I walked in. When Kermit walked in and was like, "What's up?" and then you killed him.
Yeah. The wild.
I was brand new.
Like, storyline that was Butterfly Effect. Like that was the most. I think that's the most perfect example of Butterfly Effect in like these games.
Oh yeah.
The Stormlands rebelling led to the destabilization of House Tully just through sheer like the Vale marching into the Riverlands, and then was it a Templeton who killed Gavin Root?
Yep, it was a Templeton.
Killed Gavin Root.
I was surprised they didn't go any farther.
I think it was more we couldn't really. I think it was more that we were reacting to it, but then we just imploded on ourselves like we will want to do as the Riverlands.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good way of putting it.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the Reach. If anything crazy happens in the Reach in this game.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about it with Seventh as well. Was the high tower stuff. I was like,
high towers.
If there's something I could see leading to that, loyal. If there's something, if there's something that I could see leading to, something similar to that, it would probably be the stuff with high tower. Just because the high tower is pretty powerful, right? So
yeah, the thing is they're powerful, but like I don't know, but they're powerful, but like, I don't know that they're not like they haven't got like. They have a physical power in terms of troops, and they have real good economic power because like half the Reach puts their trade into Old Town.
Yeah, well, actually, I don't know if you saw, but we moved our trade away from Old Town because of like the stuff with High Tower. I don't know if you'd seen that.
I haven't.
Yeah, I mean it's not very exciting. It's just trade, but
yeah. But I don't know. I feel like their political influence is not super strong. But they obviously have the Lannister marriage, but within the Reach.
Yeah, that's right. Like, in the Reach, it's not so much. But
ties.
Yeah, but like, because I don't know, like because they're not on the council and they don't have as much of a presence in Highgarden, so because of that, it's a little bit handicapped. Yeah, so it's like.
What am I getting on that? Hurry up, man!
Hey, actually, I approached you in an RP, and I don't think you answered me.
I probably
at one of the meeting ones.
That's probably your fault.
Are you sure? I'm like
or something?
No. I'm like 99% sure that you never answered me. And I was gonna be like, hey, by the way, you're now on the council. By the way, I was gonna say that, and then I never got an answer. It was the one where it was decided that you would be the commander of the.
Well, I don't know my plate.
You know what? I automatically assumed you were just ignoring me. Obviously. No. Yeah, you don't want the council position. It's okay. I'll give it to someone else.
Hold on. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna type out a reply mid-conversation. Just Adam going K.
Just K. Just noted.
Just K. I'm sure. I'll do that. I'll do that later. But yeah. Hi, Justicar, Adam Tarley.
Yeah, I know, right? It's gonna be good to have. Not to trash on House Footley, but they haven't been claimed for a little while, so it's gonna be nice to have.
Wow, just trashing on.
I know, right? I'm sorry, non-existent Footley player. I am sorry for insulting your house.
Complaint to be submitted against you.
I know, right? Honestly, I should be removed as a monarch.
You probably should be, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't like you personally.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't like myself personally either.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah.
I'm glad we finally agree on something.
I know, right? Look at us. We have a common enemy.
Look at us. Look how far we've come. You're in charge of me now. This is crazy.
I know, right? Compared to the fact that you were the first person I RP'd with, and then I was pretty much like your little lackey. I wasn't your vassal, but I mean, in spirit, I kind of was.
You're my vassal in quotation marks.
Yeah, in quotation marks. Yeah, honestly, that's the thing when you brought up the election there with the with kicking off the tellies in 7K. I don't know how I would have voted.
Yeah,
I would have been stuck in a bit of a pickle there. I don't know what I would have done.
It would have been interesting.
It would have been interesting. Yeah.
Against Blackwood, you would have got a very dirty look.
Yeah, I know, right? I think either way, if I'd voted for Blackwood, I would have pissed you off. If I voted for. Because, I was kind of tied to both of you, right?
Yeah.
More than other people.
You got a marriage with the Blackwoods in the end, didn't you?
Sort of. Not really. No, not really. Like I had a betrothal, but it never went through.
I never married Blackwood. I never got a Blackwood marriage in that entire game.
Really? That surprises me.
We were allies just through political convenience. We wanted to do a marriage at some point, but like none of our kids were like the same age but opposite. But you know, none of our kids lined up.
Oh, weren't you always having boys and he was always having?
Yes.
Garland was always having girls.
No.
No. You guys were both having boys.
We were both rolling boys.
Oh yeah, okay.
I remember this because we both really wanted to get the Viserys marriage because we both wanted to have a queen.
Oh yeah, okay.
And we just both kept rolling boy after boy after boy. Amaray didn't have a daughter.
No, never. Yeah, never.
We had 6 sons.
6 sons.
Can you name all our kids, Bob? Because I don't know if I still can.
Hold up. I mean, can I name them?
Clement was our eldest.
Yeah, Clement was first. Edmund?
The one who died.
Wasn't it Edmund? Was he called Edmund? No. Edward?
No, we did not have an Edmund.
Edward?
Or an Edward. Was it Stafford? Or Stanford was our second son who died young?
No, wasn't he third?
Shit,
I thought he was
who
third.
was the second kid who died young?
Shit.
We had a kid who died
hold on. Let's just go check. Hold up. Now this is bothering me.
Stanford was our third son who died outside King's Landing in battle.
Oh, he died. That's true. I didn't. Oh my god.
He was betrothed to Ysilla.
My boy. See, I lost track of them at a certain point when I stopped playing. We had
Mataris.
Yes.
We had Benjicott and we had Mataris.
Which one was the one that died?
Stanford. Stanford was it foreign? No.
No.
We had our second son died really young.
That's what I'm trying to check right now. Yeah, Thorin.
Thorin, yeah.
Died at the age of 1, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. See?
That's why there was a bit of an age gap between Clement and all his brothers.
Yeah, that's true. Because of that, but hold
I
on.
remember that. That was a sad role play.
Yeah, I remember that too. We were like, we had some depressing role plays. We had.
Turns out when you play as Harrenhal, you get some really dark shit going on.
Yeah, just a little bit, huh?
I do miss doing the curse rolls. I miss the curse rolls.
I never got anything in the curse rolls, thankfully. But are there curse? Oh, there's no Harrenhal. I was gonna say, are there curse rolls?
Oh wow! Imagine doing a pre-conquest game and not giving us completed Harrenhal.
Hey, Harrenhal is there. It's just not completed.
It's just a single.
There's one. Yeah, pretty much. There's only one person to blame, anyways. Obviously, I think we know who it is. It's just I blame everything on Rami at this point. Rami was on the org team. It's obviously his fault. It's just
and no one else was. It was just Rami was the only person on the org team.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I blame him for
conversation. Was involved.
No, it was just him. He made all the game decisions. Actually, fun secret. He made the whole game. We were all just there. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, we're coming up on 20 minutes. So
damn.
Yeah, I know, right?
Time flies when you're having fun.
I know. What, you had fun? Oh my
no,
God.
This felt like an hour.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. See, I was gonna say I wasn't having fun. So, God. But yeah, no, it was nice talking to you, Dom. Obviously, I'll see you in game.
Oh yeah, I'll see you around.
See you around. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was nice talking to you, and yeah, have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.
And that's been the second episode of the Century of Bobcast. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed making it. And thank you to our 3 guests for taking the time to sit down with me and chat it out a little bit. If you guys have any ideas on what to do for the next couple of episodes, any new ideas, I'm glad to take them on. I'm going to try to shake some stuff up. You know, maybe do a question section in the future, or do some group interviews. Those have both been suggested, and I've liked both of them. But if you guys have any ideas of your own, just drop them in the Bobcast channel, or let me know in DMs. Along with if you would like to be on the show as well. I've got a bit of an ever-growing list, so I'll slowly make my way through it, and eventually, we'll try to get everyone on. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to really say. I hope you guys enjoyed it. guys should only have to wait about a week for the third one, and I'll see you guys around next time.